Wait, I'm about to reveal why Coco Gauff just gave her coach the boot right before the US Open. Yeah, you heard that right, fired her coach just days before the biggest hardcourt slam. Buckle up, folks, because this is going to get spicy and educational. Ready? Let's dive in. Fact 1: the coach drop heard around Flushing Meadows. Just days before the 2025 US Open, Coco Gauff parted ways with coach Matt Daly. Yes, you heard me, she fired her coach on the eve of the final Grand Slam.
There's been a bit of news going around with the players having a press conference for the first time at the US Open. They do that pre-week, I guess, the fan week press conferences. And we're going to have a listen to what Coco Gauff had to say about the new coach that she's gotten on and what is going on with her coaching situation going into the final slam of the year.
Why it rattles the tennis world. The timing, pyrotechnic. We're talking a seismic move mere days before one of the biggest tournaments of her life. Normally, players wouldn't switch skis mid-avalanche. Daly's real impact: he joined last fall after her split with Brad Gilbert and immediately produced results. Under Daly's technical tutelage, Gauff captured prestigious titles like the China Open and the 2024 WTA Finals, and followed with the French Open win in 2025. So this wasn't a failed experiment, it was proven success with a twist. The public reaction from Daly: he kept it classy, telling bounces simply, "Only have good things to say about Coco, enjoyed working with her." That's smooth. It's the tennis world version of "we're just friends," but with trophies. The deeper layers context that makes this seismic. 1. A pattern of bold decisions. Last year, Coco ditched Brad Gilbert post-US Open, so she isn't afraid to pivot when things aren't clicking, even midstream. 2. Serve mishaps fueled the break. Her serve has been on an epic slide littered with double faults and early exits like at Wimbledon and Cincinnati that rattled confidence in ranking. It wasn't about Daly not delivering game changers, it was about her serve going rogue despite previous results. 3. This isn't an impulsive power play, it's surgical. According to Gauff, it was a very sudden decision. Gavin became available, and I just felt this was best for my game. She sees herself not just as the now, but the future champ. 4. Trust but verify. Farrell stays. Initial speculation suggested she had dropped both of her coaches, but Farrell, her long-term guide, stayed on board. So this was a strategic augmentation, not total upheaval.
So this is what Gauff had to say when talking about changing coaches before the slam. She said, "Yeah, it was like a very sudden decision. Gavin became available. I just felt this was the best decision for my game, at least, and I had to go with what I was feeling. I think Matt is a great coach and a great person, and 100% loved working with him. Yeah, I mean, we obviously had a very successful partnership, but I'm just looking at long term. I know Gavin has had some experience with this before, so hoping I can just take on his knowledge and see what can happen." So the knowledge that Gavin MacMillan has is he actually worked with Sabalenka to get her serve working, because of course Coco Gauff's serve over the last couple of months has been really shaky and a lot of double faults, and Sabalenka before 2023 also a lot of double faults, and this is the guy that helped Sabalenka. So we'll see what happens with Gauff and if it makes any difference.
Fact to enter the biomechanics fixer deep dive. Plot twist: Coco didn't just swap coaches, she hired a serve surgeon. Here's the plate: Coco brought in Gavin MacMillan, a biomechanics specialist best known for turning Aryna Sabalenka's second serve panic into certified thunder. He's not your typical cone drill coach. He's the CSI serve unit guy. Slow-mo video, angles, force chains, the whole nerd buffet. Gauff was literally seen drilling with MacMillan and longtime coach JC Farrell on Ash this week. So this is not a rumor, it's live action. Who's Gavin? Former D1 tennis scholar at San Jose State, founder of Sports Science Lab Est 2001, and a cross-sport fixer who obsesses over how bodies load, sequence, and unload power without leaking accuracy. Translation: he hunts the tiny, mechanical gremlins that turn a Ferrari engine into a shopping cart. Why him? Now, because Coco's serve has been playing hot potato with her confidence. Just in August, she stacked 23 doubles in one Montreal win, 14 in the next, and 16 more in Cincinnati, part of a season total, sitting around 320 double faults in 48 matches. That's an average near 6.8 per match, unsustainable for a title run. MacMillan's job is to plug the leaks fast. Receipts on the resume: when Sabalenka was stuck in double fault purgatory, MacMillan reframed it as a technical issue, not a mental curse. He pinpointed her off-arm drop, yanking the hitting shoulder offline, then cleaned up arm positioning and sequencing. Results? She shot up with fewer doubles and a more reliable cannon. That's the blueprint Coco's borrowing. So what's he likely changing for Coco in real-world terms? Off-arm discipline and toss lane keeping. The left arm up longer to stabilize the shoulder line, so the right shoulder doesn't chase and spray. Think keep the tripod steady before you hit record. Shoulder hip. Timing, syncing torso rotation, so power arrives on time, instead of early frame left or late frame right. That's Kinetic Chain 101, inference based on his published approach to sequencing. Racket drop pronation path, smoothing the drop to snap. Arc so contact isn't arm wrestling the ball. Cleaner path, fewer panic grips. Inference. Footwork setup, micro tweaks to platform or pinpoint. Rhythm so legs load vertically up, not laterally out. If your launchpad wobbles, your rocket spray paints the stadium. Inference. High rep video feedback, film adjust repeat, until the new normal sticks under pressure. That's his calling card. How fast can this flip? Sabalenka says she felt a big difference in about 2 weeks once she fully bought in. That doesn't mean instant perfection for Coco, but it proves MacMillan's changes can land quickly when the athlete commits. And Coco? She literally said she didn't want to waste time doing the wrong things. The urgency is the feature, not a bug.
There it is, big news for Gauff, of course. Matt Daly was her other coach and she won the French Open with him. But since the French Open, her serving has gone downwards and she is trying to figure out why that is. And bringing on the person who fixed Sabalenka's serving, of course, we know what Sabalenka has done post-2023, pre-2023. She was sort of the double fault queen and she said that herself. And then Gavin MacMillan came on, biomechanics coach came on, fixed her serve, and was able to go on and win Grand Slams and gets a world number one, Sabalenka. So Gauff is obviously going to be hoping the same, that her double fault count is lower at this tournament, or at least in the future. Maybe not instantly, but in the future. But let me know in the comments below. What do you think of this change? It's a big change before a Grand Slam to change coaches this, very suddenly, as she said as well. It's going to be interesting to see if her double fault count is lower.
Fact 3: JC Farrell sticks around. While Daly got the boot, Coco's other coach Jean-Christophe Farrell is still in the picture. That's right, it wasn't a clean sweep, more like a renovation. Swap out the kitchen counters, but keep the foundation. Why Farrell matters? He's been part of Team Coco since her rise as a teenage prodigy, co-guiding her through breakthrough moments like her first Grand Slam final in 2020 to Roland Garros and eventually her US Open 2023 title. His presence gives Coco a steady, familiar voice during chaotic changes. He's French, a former pro, and a respected developmental coach. Basically, he knows Coco's game like a mechanic who's been under the hood since the first oil change. Having him stay on while Gavin MacMillan joins is crucial. MacMillan is the biomechanics fixer, Farrell is the strategist, and Coco's dad Corey, he's still the emotional backbone. It's like the Avengers, each has a lane, no one hogging all the screen time. Even insiders admitted it looked like Coco had blown up the entire coaching staff at first. But Farrell's survival is intentional. It prevents complete instability and ensures she doesn't walk into the US Open with an all-new brain trust. Punchline: so Daly out, MacMillan in, Farrell steady. This isn't a full mutiny, it's a reshuffle. Coco basically said, let's keep the compass, but swap the engine. But why the reshuffle in the first place? One word: serves. And no, not the kind you get at Olive Garden. Let's get into fact 4. Fact for the serve that betrayed her. Coco's serve, once a weapon, has turned into her Achilles heel. And it's not just an off day or two. We're talking season-long sabotage. The hard numbers: 320 double faults in just 48 matches this year. That's an average of nearly 7 doubles per match. At that rate, she's spotting her opponent's half a service game for free. Her double fault crisis peaked in Canada, 23 in one match, then 14 in the next, and 16 in Cincinnati. Those aren't tennis stats, that's a bowling score. Commentators like Mary Jo Fernandez and Patrick McEnroe have repeatedly flagged the issue. Fernandez called it mental as much as mechanical. Winning a slam, then suddenly not trusting your own toss, can mess with confidence fast. Why it matters? Gauff's entire playing style thrives on athleticism and defense. If the serve is steady, she can grind down even the biggest hitters. But if she starts the point with a double, she's gifting opponents the first punch. Serving woes also bleed into her body language. Watch her matches recently when the serve cracks. The shoulders slump, the confidence dips, and the match becomes an uphill climb.
I think it'd be unrealistic to expect for Coco's service issues to immediately be resolved for the US Open. These changes can take weeks, months, even upwards to a year for them to actually kick in. It will be interesting to see whether Gavin can fix these Coco serve issues once and for all, because if not, it might just be a mental thing that she needs to work through herself.
The Daly connection. Daly specialized in grip and technical work, and he did engineer success China Open, WTA Finals, Roland Garros. But the serve remained an unsolved riddle under his watch. It became the elephant in the stadium. Firing Daly wasn't personal, it was Coco signaling, if we don't fix the serve, we don't win slams. Punchline in short, Coco's serve has been less ace machine and more arcade claw machine. You put in a coin, cross your fingers, and usually leave disappointed. So Daly's out, the serve still shaky. And now you're wondering, wait, wasn't Daly also successful in other ways? You'd be right. Let's rewind to his actual track record in Fact 5. Fact 5: Daly's credentials. Here's the twist: Matt Daly wasn't some rookie hitting balls out of a hopper. He was legit. Under Daly, Coco won the 2020 for China Open, the WTA Finals, and even bagged the French Open in 2025. That's not struggling coach numbers, that's her some gold. Daly is known for being a technical purist. He dives into grips, hand positions, and mechanics, the kind of guy who'll notice your wrist angle is 2 degrees off at breakfast. Coco herself improved a ton under Daly's microscope, especially with her ground strokes and consistency. Remember her China Open win over Iga Swiatek in 2024? That was Daly's blueprint in action. So why drop him? Because even with all those wins, the serve monster never went away. Daly polished the Ferrari body, but the engine still kept stalling at the lights. Punchline basically, Daly was great at making Coco's game shiny and lethal, but if you can't fix the serve, it's like putting a spoiler on a car that won't start. And speaking of cars breaking down, let's talk about Coco's form since Paris, because that thing went from Formula 1 to bumper cars real quick.
Honestly, really tough. Honestly, mentally exhausting. But I'm trying. I mean, it wasn't the best today, but you know, at 30 all, it came in when it mattered. But you know, it's an improvement from last week, consistency. So I think, you know, I'm just trying to improve with each match.
Fact 6: Focus over everything. To top it off, Coco decided not to play mixed doubles at this US Open. Why? She said she didn't want to waste mental energy, all her focus is locked on singles. That's maturity. At 21, plenty of players get tempted by doubles reps for fun or practice. Coco, she's treating her mental bandwidth like it's battery percentage, no wasting 20% on side quests when the boss level is waiting. It also shows she knows where her priorities lie. Singles titles equals legacy, mixed doubles equals cool story, no contest. Add that to the coaching shake-up, and you see a pattern. Coco is eliminating distractions, sharpening tools, and rolling into New York with one mission: get that serve fixed, then defend her turf. When most 21-year-olds are worried about TikTok drafts, Coco's out here load managing her brain like she's LeBron in year 21. So that's the full playbook. 6 reasons why Coco's coaching change is the boldest move of the summer. But what do you think? Will the MacMillan gamble turn her serve from liability to weapon? Or is this the riskiest pre-slam shake-up in years? Drop your take in the comments. Smash subscribe if you love fast takes with extra spice. And hey, don't double fault on that like button. Until next time, keep your serves clean and your transitions cleaner.